everybody, Max Scoville filling in for Akeem Lawance, and on today's Fix of Entertainment News, we learned that James Gunn might have made a Hitman movie if Marvel hadn't hired him to do Guardians of the Galaxy. Rosario Dawson is hoping her character from Netflix's Daredevil returns for Disney Plus's Born Again, and it looks like DC will need to keep looking to find their very own Kevin Feige. Let's get into it. Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad director James Gunn revealed on Twitter that weeks before he got hired by Marvel Studios, he pitched a movie adaptation of the Hitman video games. This news surfaced after a fan tweeted at Gunn asking if there were any video game franchises he thought would make an awesome film in light of the news that Netflix is adapting BioShock. Gunn replied via quote tweet saying, "Weeks before I got Guardians, I pitched a Hitman movie. The studio really wanted to hire me, but a producer on the project did not. I was bummed then, but thank God, because I would have never been able to do Guardians of the Galaxy if they had said yes." Hitman got its first movie adaptation back in 2007, starring Timothy Olyphant as the eponymous chrome-domed Agent 47. The film was a commercial success, but currently sits at a measly 16% on Rotten Tomatoes. Plans for a reboot were announced back in 2013, and it seems like this is the project that Gunn was pitching for. The reboot eventually moved ahead without him, or Timothy Olyphant, and was released as Hitman Agent 47 in 2015, which performed worse on a higher budget and had an even more dismal critical reception, which currently has an 8% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is bad even by video game movie standards. It's hard to say if it would have fared any better with Gunn at the wheel, but I think we can all agree that Guardians wouldn't have been the same without him. I could definitely see Gunn nailing the blend of violence and dark humor in the Hitman games, but that could be applied to plenty of video game adaptations. What video game would you like to see James Gunn tackle if that is in fact a possibility in the future? Let me know in the comments below. In other Marvel news, Rosario Dawson has expressed interest in returning to Hell's Kitchen when Daredevil gets his first post-Netflix solo series with the 2024 Disney Plus show Born Again. Dawson's character Claire Temple appeared throughout the Netflix Marvel shows and was given something of an ambiguous final appearance. Speaking to The Hollywood Reporter, Dawson lamented this, stating, quote, "You don't even see her in that last tell Claire to go home moment on Luke Cage, so what is that? You know, it's terrible," adding that she'd be super curious to see what happens to her character next. Dawson was excited to see her former co-stars Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio return to the MCU and enthusiastically offered to join them, saying, quote, 18 episodes Daredevil Born Again, I am there. Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, they know where I am. Rosario Dawson is currently at work on the Disney Plus standalone Ahsoka Tano Star Wars series, but considering that Daredevil Born Again doesn't premiere until spring 2024, there's probably time to figure something out. And finally, WB Discovery is once again in search of somebody to oversee its DC movies and shows after failing to make a deal with the leading potential candidate, Dan Lin. CNBC reports that the two parties reached an impasse over Lin's production company Rideback, which Lin allegedly wanted to keep going with WB Discovery owning an equity stake in, but they couldn't come to an agreement about compensation. The role has repeatedly been referred to as DC's Kevin Feige, referring to the Marvel Studios president. In the wake of the WB Discovery merger, plans are underway to reset the DC movie slate, which is a pretty major undertaking. Lin seemed like a solid candidate due to an existing relationship with WB Discovery, producing the Lego movies, but it looks like the role is still open. Man, if there's one thing I love about superhero movies, it's hearing about the complicated business proceedings that go on behind the scenes to make them happen. Who do you think should play Lobo? I think Dave Bautista could pull it off. Sound off in the comments with literally anything more interesting to talk about than inconclusive corporate contract negotiations. That is your Fix of Entertainment for September 7th, 2022. If you want more exciting news than everything I just said, make sure you tune into IGN for the Disney and Marvel Games Showcase out of D23. That is happening this Friday, September 9th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time that Akeem is busy with other stuff and they asked me to cover for him.